Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Leonidas Triple G, this time with another Dauntless video. I apologize for my voice because I've been sick this past few days. It's not the big one, it's not the big one, just regular flu. But I just want to put this out there. Okay, let me start by just saying thank you for everyone for the 100 views I got in my previous Dauntless video, which I got 100 views in like 3 days, so that was really good. Thank you very much. This is a follow-up for the Dark Harvest, which unfortunately doesn't have the same tone. Dark Harvest for the most part was cool, but the Shroud mission was not. Catherine Sorrell basically told us, to kill Shroud before the torches were lit. Nothing that difficult, nothing that difficult with a squad. One puts out the lights, the others kill the behemoth. Easy, no problem there. Unfortunately, there was a special word that you can only get if you killed it with 7 torches lit. And that was where my problems started. My first problem was the torches did not lit up in sequence. I mean, they did not lit up like a line. Once you put out torch number 3 or number 4, the torch 1 would light up at the same time. So if they light up all in a row, maybe you could have like this line that you could just that goes around in a circle and you can nip it at the end, like in movies where the gunpowder is burning towards the dynamite and you nip it at the end. That will be easier to track, but as is, if you want to keep them low, you have to constantly be running around. The second problem I had with torches was they lit up faster as the behemoth health is lower, and not as the more torches are lit, as I heard someone say. This, together with problem 1, makes some torches light up at the same time. A very common problem when I was trying to hold that, when we were trying to hold that perfect 7. The last one was you could not pull back from an 8. There is no timer before it ends, which would be most helpful, but it reaches 8 and it's done. The best way to handle this was to get it up to 7, wait 4 seconds, because the torch was only held for 5 seconds, and I mean, not everyone can kill it shot in that time. I would even say only a few can, but then you put it out, run to the next torch, and so on. This was the best method I think people could use. Unfortunately, it was not full or foolproof. Keeping up with the timer mentally was exhausting, especially if the squad was taking too long to kill Shroud. There was always someone putting out more torches than was necessary. Hence, problems 1 and 3 that I mentioned before either made us fail because the torches were lit, or we ended up killing it at a count of 6 torches or lower. But those weren't the only problems. Shroud sometimes escaped the circle of torches, which made us have to go back and forth between him and the torches. If he was far enough, we couldn't even see his health meter. If the fight was done on an Umbra Island, for instance, which is limited, it's like an arena, or the torches actually provide an enclosed barrier to keep him in, that would have worked out a lot better, in my opinion. Now, speaking of the behemoth's health, the squares are very misleading. If it was a proper bar, we could easily see when to give him the last shot, But seeing a square, we just couldn't tell, We just kept fighting and hope for the best. Shroud itself was also a terrible choice as a behemoth to defeat. I mean, sure, he was the statue, so that makes sense. But at least at normal level, because you had the 2 levels, the normal and nevermore. At normal, it should be another behemoth, maybe Dark Trask. And here's why: Shroud debuffs players. I mean, we're not able to run when he does that black goo, and he steals our health. If you are a guy monitoring the tortures, this obliges you to leave it your duty and then go hit him to stop the debuff. Second problem is he blinds players, which means that at some point, depending how the fight is going, you can't see what torches are lit, so you are left literally running around trying to find the torches that are lit and put them out. But the last one, I could let all this slide if not for this reason, which is actually the worst reason. Not everyone knows how to fight Shroud. Sure, Yip is an escalation, but that is a more diluted version of him, and this was a stronger version than an Heroic Plus. At least that's what I heard, and from my fights I can agree. So when I saw a completely new player entering the mission, I mean, we knew that there was no way he would survive, or that we could carry him. So, so how are we supposed to deal with a character that some players haven't fought, and still deal with the problem with the torches? I mean, I don't think it was a good idea. I don't think it was a good. Now, going outside the mission, even outside the mission itself, there was also problems. First, there was no loot page. I get it, it was supposed to be like a surprise or something special, but when you have a particular mechanic that you need to do to get it, and that particular mechanic has to be shared by everybody in the squad, helps to at least let everyone know that there is one in the mission. You know, and not something that you put on social media over on Twitter. You know, it has to be there so people are, oh, we're trying to get this thing? Okay, okay. Second was there was no retry button. So even if you got a good squad, and sometimes we did, and we were close to killing them. If you got a good squad, there was no way to get them back into the mission unless you've spoken before or over chat, which didn't always happen. Then you still have to find them. You have to epic friend them, and then invite them to a party, which is a very troublesome method, particularly in this game that has no recruit channel. And please don't even mention Ramsgate, because I tried getting people in Ramsgate, and I think I tried like 5 times and I got no reply. Now, all this put together made it very difficult, even impossible for players like me to get that reward. I consider myself to be a good player. You know, I'm not a top player, but I consider myself to be in the top half. I have a level 50 Slayer, I am a level 50 Behemoth of Hunter, and I can fight Shroud solo on Heroic Plus. I can't kill him in under 30 minutes, but, you know, I can do that. And I have a couple of -3 runs in Dauntless Trials. I mean, not a lot, but I do occasionally get one. And if I had difficulty doing this, I can just imagine what the rest of the player base that are not even at that level had. I did this mission over 100 times. The game crashed a couple of them, and even on my last run, the repeaters weren't even doing damage. I have no idea why. So, yeah, that's why I say I was cursed, or the game was. Either way, I wasn't the only one still trying, so I know that not everyone got the crown, and a lot of players had the same problems that I had. If nothing else could be done about this event, at least one thing should have been done. Make it so that the lower torch count would at least have a percentage of the crown to drop. So maybe not. 7 would definitely get one. It's 100% drop. The crown will be yours. But at 6 torches, maybe you get like 75% of the crown to drop. At 5 torches, maybe 50%. You know, that way you can juggle between 5 and 7. That way you could all at least have a chance to get it. I, like everyone else, tried over social media to get help, and maybe even actually find the method, because the method maybe there was a better one. But besides the usual lols and noob comments that I got, because this event really helped bond the community together, some of the comments I got voicing my frustration were, it's not that hard, which, if I might add, it's not that hard for you. If you already have a golden crown, yes, I believe it is. It is not that hard for you. Maybe you can even do it solo. But if you're not, well, then it's a different case. Another comment I got was, oh, it's just a cosmetic. Yes, it is just a cosmetic, like the golden crown is just a cosmetic, and everyone wants to get one. Besides, this entire game's survival and monetization is based on cosmetics. So the answer is just a cosmetic. It doesn't really have much weight in it. People, of course, said it's easy with a squad. Oh, it's definitely better with a squad. But since you can't see the other player level or his gear or his build, which actually I do think it's a good idea that you don't see other players' level, because that way you don't ostracize them, people. I think it's good. But in this case, it didn't help, because it left a lot to just chance, just having a good matchmaking. Another comment was, oh, you have to earn it. First of all, let me just clear this up. This wasn't a trial, okay? This wasn't trials. This wasn't just to prove how good you are. Second, most people that got in the first day just said they were lucky. They were lucky to kill it at 6 or 7 or 7 or 8 or something like that. And third and final, and this is the worst one, it's a seasonal event. A seasonal event, which means you either get it in 5 waves or you could just kiss it goodbye. I mean, I don't really think that events should work like this. Um, of course, the last one is always the one that people throw up the most in free to play, which is it's free. So why are you complaining? I mean, sure I have every right to complain. I mean, if somebody gives me a shoe, builds a shoe for me that's too small for my feet, I can't do anything with it, can I? I say thank you, but I can't accept it. I mean, what am I gonna do with that? So it's the same thing, just because it's free doesn't mean it's good. Okay, so at this point, I can say I heard all these comments before, and there were dire consequences on another game, but I will talk about it later. I want to phrase this one first. Obviously, the only solution for most players was to find someone strong enough to carry them through the mission and hopefully end it successfully. Problem is, like I said before, there is no recruitment channel, and on my PS4 community, only 2 people were actually doing this. One even stopped because he was just annoyed that he had to do this for everybody, and rightly so. So let me just say this clearly. It's not the job of the community to fix a broken game. I'm just going to repeat myself. It is not the job of the community or its players to fix a broken game. It's not about the community to create contingencies for something that doesn't work or that the devs didn't thought out about. And this is where I have to talk about Warframe. I apologize if I go a little bit off the topic Dauntless here, but this is important for people to listen because I cover both games on this channel and I want people to know this. Warframe did the exact same thing a couple of years back. Missions were always being grindy, but they started to have this RNG and chance to it. Some people, I included, did not like this and would greet it with the exact same comments I got here, which was, oh, it's free, get a squad, mics, it's not that hard, blah 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 blah. So what this did was excuse the developers to develop more content like this. And after 3 updates, Warframe, the game that was like the most successful free-to-play game ever, I think, was in the worst state it ever was. I mean, player frustration, even anger, led him to leave the game in droves. Even now, the game hasn't fully recovered. That was actually one of the reasons that led me to Dauntless, and I hope Dauntless doesn't follow the same path. So in my opinion, this was an unfair and unbalanced mission event that divided the community more than anything else. Seasonal events are supposed to be inclusive and not exclusives. The bunny event we got in Easter was actually way better and a lot more fun than this. Unfortunately, all I got from this was frustration and burnout. The same thing I already got and drove me away from Warframe at one time. I hope you enjoyed the video. I did not enjoy making it, but I just want to be honest because I think it's the best way for any game, company, community, or even a person to grow. I congrats everyone that got Dark Harvest crown, but for the rest, well, hopefully the open world islands will make up for it. If you liked the video, please like and subscribe, and as always, have a great game, guys.